Hey guys, it is RidlyGT here coming to you with another Heroes of the Storm video. Today we're taking a look at Zeratul, the melee assassin. Zeratul is one of the coolest and funnest characters to play as long as you do it properly. Zeratul has three main abilities. His first ability is a cleave. It does damage in an AoE around him. Second ability is called Singularity Spike. It throws a little green disc at an enemy, slowing and doing damage after a small amount of time. Zeratul's third ability is a blink, allowing him to teleport in any direction. Now, these three abilities combined make Zeratul one of the most lethal damage dealers in Heroes of the Storm. However, Zeratul is very, very squishy. Although he has an escape, he can get into trouble and die very, very quickly. Now, much like every other hero in Heroes of the Storm, Zeratul has two heroic abilities. His first one is a Void Prism. It summons a giant green sphere that disables enemies. You cannot attack them, they cannot attack you. This is fantastic for teamfights, positioning, or getting yourself out of trouble. His second heroic ability is called Shadow Assault, where you charge like a bat out of hell towards enemies. You empower your basic attacks to move you next to the enemies and hit them with all of your might. Now, because Zeratul is so squishy, positioning is incredibly important. You need to channel your inner ninja when playing Zeratul. You need to not pretend to be a warrior. You need to not be the one that goes in first. You need to not be the one that goes and tries to be the magnificent hero that you pretend to be. So try not to directly engage in a team fight. Try to be very, very opportunistic with how you pick your fights. And sometimes, just when you think that you're dead, no! You are not dead because you are Zeratul. You are the melee assassin that strikes fear into the hearts of your enemies. The last important aspect of Zeratul is the fact that he is a cloaked hero. This means that you cannot be targeted by enemy attacks directly. However, you can be hit with AoE attacks. You can still be seen slightly while you're in cloak, but you do have much more flexibility because you do not show up on the minimap. Now we're going to take a look at Zeratul's talents. We're going to break down each tier for you guys and give a short explanation and thought towards all of them. For your tier 1 talents, Greater Cleave is going to be the best pickup for any new players. This just allows you to land your Q more consistently. Although Rapid Displacement and Block are much better for survivability, landing that Q is of the utmost importance when you're a newer player. Taking a look at the tier 4 talents now, the biggest thing with this set of talents for Zeratul is that it determines how you're going to play him. I'm recommending Focused Attack. It is the best all-around skill. Gathering Power is going to be better as soon as you have the ability to stay alive consistently and not lose your stacks of it, but for newer players, Focused Attacks is going to be the way to go. Now at tier 7, you really only have two choices. You're going to have the offensive choice, and you're going to have the defensive choice. My personal recommendation is to go with the offensive choice in Searing Attacks. It activates to increase your basic attack damage and lets you hit harder with just your basic attacks. If you feel that you're being focused, if you feel like you're under a lot of pressure consistently, then going with the defensive option of First Aid is a substantially better idea. Now taking a look at heroic abilities that we have looked at from earlier in this video. And as much as Shadow Assault is fun and is an incredibly powerful offensive skill, especially combined with Searing Attacks, I would recommend taking Void Prison. The utility, the escape, and the ability to turn a team fight by disabling heroes for 5 seconds is just too important. At tier 13, you do have more options. If you're up against a lot of very tanky heroes, if you have a Diablo and an ETC on the other team, then I'd recommend picking up Giant Killer. But for the large majority of games, Assassin's Blade is going to be your best bet. The ability to add burst damage onto Zeratul's already bursty nature is very, very important, especially for newer players that are exclusively playing in pub games. Looking at tier 16 now, we have two options. The Cleave bonus doesn't really do you anything, and the Berserk, not nearly as good as either Double Bomb or Stone Skin. Stone Skin you activate whenever you want to give yourself a shield. Double Bombs, however, allows you to cast Singularity Spike twice. Now this is great for the bonus damage and the extra slow that you get from the second spike, and it is hands down my recommendation for tier 16. Now to take a look at tier 20, these are your storm talents. Now these are some of the most powerful talents in the game, and deciding between them can be very complicated. But for newer players, I'm going to recommend picking up a Protective Prison here. Now this allows your allies not to be affected by a Void Prison, which is a huge thing for when you misplace it, and for newer players, hands down, this is the best ability to pick up for you. That's it for this introduction guide to Zeratul. My name is RidlyGT from Drunken Rhino Gaming. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment and check out all of the other hero guides that we have on our channel.